Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into WK Kellogg Co's latest report. Get ready for some news that might make you reach for a cold glass of milk. So what is this filing all about? Well, WK Kellogg Co, the company behind those breakfast cereals you probably grew up with, like Corn Flakes and Frosted Flakes, they've just filed their 8K report. This is a big deal because it tells us about really important events that happen between their regular financial updates. Think of it as a company, emergency broadcast system for major news. And the big news here is a merger. On the 19th of September 2025, the company confirmed a special meeting of its shareholders. This meeting was all about deciding the fate of a proposed merger. The deal is with Ferrero International SA, a Luxembourg-based company, and its subsidiary Frosty Merger, sub-incorporated. If everything goes as planned, this merger will see WK Kellogg Co becoming a wholly owned part of Ferrero. Now, what does this mean for us, the consumers and investors? It means your favorite cereals might soon be made by the same company that brings you Nutella and Ferrero chocolates. Imagine that, a breakfast of champions and a sweet treat all under one corporate umbrella. It's quite the combination, isn't it? At the meeting, WK Kellogg Co shareholders had to vote on a couple of key things. The first and most crucial was the merger proposal itself. To give you some perspective, on the 11th of August 2025, there were over 86 million shares of common stock out there, and the turnout for this vote was pretty impressive. Over 77% of those shares were represented either in person or by proxy. That is a lot of people saying they care about where their cereal bowls are headed. Let's talk about the votes. The first proposal, the big one, was to adopt and approve the merger agreement. The results are in, and it was a resounding yes. A massive 6,248,8674 votes were cast in favour of the merger. Less than 4.4 million votes were against it, with about 135,000 abstentions. This approval means the deal is moving forward. It's a pretty clear signal from the shareholders that they support this new direction. Then there was Proposal 2. This one was about approving the compensation for the company's top executives in relation to this merger. It's called an advisory compensation proposal, meaning the shareholders' vote is more of a recommendation, but it still carries weight. And guess what? They approved that too. About 59.9 million votes were for it, with about 6.9 million against and around 252,000 abstentions. It seems the shareholders are okay with how the leadership is being compensated through this transition period. So, what happens next? The parties involved are aiming to close this deal on the 26th of September 2025. That is just around the corner. Once the merger is complete, you can expect WK Kellogg Co's common stock to be delisted from the New York Stock Exchange. This means the stock will no longer be publicly traded. If you hold shares, this will mark the end of its life as a publicly traded entity. Now, the report also includes a bunch of forward-looking statements. This is standard practice, but it is important to understand what it means. Companies use these statements to talk about what they expect to happen in the future, like the timing of the merger or potential challenges. They're essentially saying, this is what we're planning, but things could change. The company is basically warning us about all the things that could go wrong. They mention risks like the merger not actually happening, or if it does, it could disrupt their current operations. There is also the possibility of lawsuits, unexpected costs, and the risk that all this merger talk might make it harder to keep top talent or maintain good relationships with customers and suppliers. It is a pretty extensive list of potential headaches. They can't guarantee the merger will close on time or even at all. One of the points they raise is that management's attention might be diverted by all the merger activities. This is a real concern. When top executives are bogged down with deal making, day-to-day business operations can sometimes suffer. It is like trying to drive a car while also reading a complex map. They also highlight that words like anticipate, believe, estimate, and expect are all signals of these forward-looking statements. So when you read their reports, keep in mind that while they're trying to be transparent, they're also managing expectations about the future, which is often uncertain. And finally, the report is signed off by David McKinstry, the Chief Financial Officer, on the 19th of September 2025. His signature confirms that the information presented in this 8K is accurate to the best of his knowledge. So, what is my take on all this? WK Kellogg Co's shareholder vote clearly shows strong support for the merger with Ferrero. This move brings together two companies with very different but potentially complementary product lines. On one hand, combining a breakfast cereal giant with a European confectionery powerhouse could lead to some interesting product innovations and cost synergies. Imagine Kellogg's cereal paired with Ferrero's delightful chocolate spreads. However, the report also highlights significant risks. The potential disruption to operations, the possible loss of key personnel, and the impact on customer and supplier relationships are all valid concerns. The fact that WK Kellogg Co stock will cease to be publicly traded means investors who bought in hoping for future stock growth will have to cash out or become investors in Ferrero. If that option is available, it is a major shift from being a public entity to being a private subsidiary. This also means less public scrutiny and potentially less transparency in the future. Overall, WK Kellogg Co seems to be embracing a significant strategic change. The success of this merger will depend heavily on how well Ferrero integrates the Kellogg S brands into its global operations, and whether they can navigate the risks outlined in the report. It is a bold step, and only time will tell if it leads to a sweeter future for the company and its iconic brands. Alright, that is our breakdown of WK Kellogg Co. S latest filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company? S future, do you think this merger is a good move for your breakfast table? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps. And subscribe for more deep dives into the world of corporate finance. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description, where we continue these conversations. Thanks for watching. See you next time.